It could come as a marvel, however, a common intake of the wrong kind of nuts can increase your threat of cardiovascular ailment through as a whole lot as 48%, particularly in case you're a senior citizen. There's some logic to that, parent. It is primarily based on studies that was posted inside the magazine of the American College of Cardiology and changed into performed over a period of numerous years. Oh, the terrifying component. Some of the most famous nuts, stored in kitchen cabinets, can quietly increase blood stress, motive irritation, block arteries, or even exacerbate cognitive decline. But many seniors consume them, questioning they are wholesome. A selected nut, the identity of so as to be discovered in a while, has been associated with excessive concentrations of a toxic substance that after ingested often can damage your liver, kidneys, and cognitive talents. You probably already have this nut for your snack jar, the identical one that low-carb dieters frequently say is good for you, but it may be inflicting everlasting damage to aging our bodies. However, don't have any fear. We're given you included. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I could make better content for you. On this video right here, you may discover the maximum complete manual to nut consumption, including which ones are safest, best for your coronary heart, and maximum beneficial on your mind. In addition to which ones you ought to avoid in any respect costs. Additionally, make certain to study all the manner to the give up, because there may be a dark truth about the primary dangerous nut that only a few people discuss, and it can be doing primary harm in your fitness without your understanding. Get this video appreciated, and subscribe to our channel for greater content like this. Earlier than we begin, also tell us in the comments in which you're watching from. So without further ado, here are the 4 sorts of nuts that seniors ought to be ingesting. Fourth, the bone-strengthening powerhouse. Almonds. One of the fine ingredients for a growing older frame is an almond, thanks to the almond's high calcium and nutrition content, which together help to keep bones sturdy. Fractures are more likely to cause severe complications as we age, considering that our bones are inherently greater porous and brittle. Herbal bone loss hurries up after age 65, but ingesting simply 1/4 cup of almonds per day will assist gradual it down, with the aid of supplying about 97 mg of calcium. Now, not handiest are almonds wealthy in calcium, but additionally, they comprise magnesium, a mineral that many aged people lack. This is what makes almonds so precise. Magnesium features as a transporter, preventing calcium from negative your arteries, and instead allowing it to attain your bones. Almonds' beneficial monounsaturated fats additionally aid heart fitness by reducing degrees of awful LDL cholesterol, which is vital because the risk of cardiovascular ailment will increase with age. Everyday serving of 15 to 20 almonds, ideally raw or dry roasted, without salt, is my advice for seniors. Almonds are an amazing weapon towards constipation because of their high fiber content, approximately 3.5 g consistent with serving, which impacts more or less 40% of the aged population. Peculiarly else, studies conducted with the aid of researchers at Tufts University have shown that almonds can save you the oxidative damage that many worry could take place to their mind cells as they become old. Search for almonds with their skins on, as they've flavonoids in the skin that when blended with diet E, make the almonds 2 times as effective an antioxidant. Warning: almonds may be a choking danger for aged people who have trouble swallowing, so be sure to bite them well before consuming. Third, walnuts. The nut that improves cognitive function, because of their placing resemblance to the brain, the organ they serve to nourish. Walnuts stand out as one of the satisfactory brain meals for seniors. These wonderful nuts are the fine supply of the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid alpha-linolenic acid, as compared to another famous nut that is very significant for the brains of the age, on the grounds that omega-3s resource in neurotransmission and hold the membranes of mind cells intact. Sizable profits in cognitive processing speed and mental flexibility have been shown in seniors who ingested simply 1.5 ounces of walnuts every day for 8 weeks, according to a brand new study posted inside the magazine of Vitamins. Walnuts' distinctive polyphenolic chemicals might also obstruct the improvement of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia with the aid of penetrating the blood-brain barrier and fighting infection in neural tissues directly. What many don't know is that walnuts comprise melatonin as properly, and melatonin stages usually drop with age. That can cause sleep issues for plenty seniors. A few people discover that eating a handful of walnuts earlier than mattress enables them get a better night's rest. Walnuts aggregate of arginine, an amino acid that promotes blood vessel characteristic, and polyphenols, which lower oxidative pressure, also makes them distinctly useful to cardiovascular health. In fact, walnuts can beautify the effects of blood stress medicinal drug by supporting the aged in preserving their arteries bendy. For ideal benefits, preserve walnuts within the fridge to hold their sensitive oils from being rancid, and attempt to consume 7 or 9 halves of walnuts every day. As an introduced bonus, you may keep your fine motor skills sharp with the aid of cracking them yourself on every occasion you get the chance. Do no longer be put off by the evidently protecting taste of walnuts. In fact, the little bitterness is a sign in their mighty antioxidants. Second, pistachios. A splendid manner to govern your blood stress in relation to the health blessings of nuts for seniors. Pistachios may be the most underrated nut, in particular for regulating blood stress. Pistachios are specific in that they've a low salt content and a excessive potassium content, around 285 mg, consistent with serving, which makes them a healthy snack choice. This mineral balance is especially vital for the elderly because it enables save you the kidneys from keeping salt as we get older. It is able to lower systolic blood stress through 3 to 5 points, much like a few prescription medicinal drugs, but without the negative consequences. Additionally, pistachios, lutein and zeaxanthin need to be highlighted due to the fact those carotenoids defend towards age-associated macular degeneration, the principal motive of imaginative and prescient loss in people over the age of 60, with the aid of concentrating on the macula of the eye. Seniors can enjoy the pleasant crunch of pistachios without disturbing about the potential damage they may do to their enamel and gums from different more difficult nuts. Similarly to being aesthetically beautiful, the presence of antioxidants in their exclusive green and crimson colors aids in neutralizing unfastened radicals, which hasten the growing old process during the frame. Pistachios are incredible for elders due to their practicality, stopping overeating and offering a mindful eating enjoy that may be calming and stimulating for cognitive function. The act of shelling them evidently slows down intake. The International Journal of Obesity reported that the apparent empty shells help seniors higher manage their intake, with the aid of providing a visual indicator of intake. In case you suffer from arthritis for your fingers, you may nevertheless revel in the advantages of shelling pistachios by looking for ones which might be half opened. Goal for about 49 pistachios per day, or roughly 1 ounce of unsalted or lightly salted pistachios. For the 25% of Americans over the age of 65 who are diabetic or pre-diabetic, the 3 joule of fiber in line with ounce of pistachios may be very useful in regulating blood sugar levels. First place, Brazil nuts. A remedy for thyroid problems. We ranked Brazil nuts first because they help with thyroid feature, and critical but once in a while not noted part of aging well, with 96 micrograms, or 37% of your each day requirement, in only 1 nut. These super nuts are the richest selenium meal source acknowledged to man. Due to the fact many instances of thyroid sicknesses cross untreated because signs are frequently incorrect for herbal getting old, that is extraordinarily critical, particularly since thyroid disorders afflict up to 20% of folks over 65. Selenium, that's ample in Brazil nuts, is critical for the activation of thyroid hormone, which in turn supports power production, metabolism, and mood control. Further to helping the thyroid, the unique fatty acids observed in Brazil nuts resource inside the preservation of myelin, the protecting sheath around nerve cells that regularly declines with age. Seniors can be able to hold their reflexes, response times, and cognitive processing accelerates, thanks to this myelin maintenance. The selenium in Brazil nuts is exciting due to the fact it's miles organically bonded, making it more available and less difficult to your frame to apply than in artificial selenium capsules. Brazil nuts are so powerful that you handiest want some to feel their effects, and their rich, creamy texture makes even a bit amount first rate. As a matter of truth, I advise seniors to consume no more than 1 or 2 Brazil nuts every day, due to the ability negative outcomes of an overabundance of selenium. Whilst you save for Brazil nuts, try to get ones which might be still in their shells. This natural packing maintains the nutrients in for a longer time period. To preserve them from going awful due to their high fats content material, maintain them in the refrigerator. Brazil nuts have a combination of fiber and herbal oils that resource in retaining intestinal regularity, making them an brought gain for seniors who suffer from constipation. Many elderly people locate solace in less nutritious snacks, but those are a notable alternative, thanks to their naturally sweet and buttery taste. The maximum remarkable new evidence suggests that some antioxidants, located in Brazil nuts, might also graduate the natural shortening of telomeres, the caps on chromosomes, that generally reduce with age, and consequently impact cell growing older. In case you're 65 or older, those nuts are perfect for you. Nuts to avoid or consume with warning. In this new section we can talk nuts which some seniors might also want to keep away from, or consume with warning. Inflammatory triggers. 4. Peanuts. In spite of their substantial use, peanuts are intricate for many elderly humans because of the dangers they represent. To start, you have to know that peanuts aren't truly nuts in any respect. They may be underground grown legume. This makes them easy prey for mold and aflatoxins, which can be mycotoxins that positive molds obviously produce, and may harm the liver and boom the hazard of cancer if consumed regularly. As we become older, our frame's detoxing mechanism unavoidably gets less powerful, which means that this hazard grows even greater worrisome. For the elderly, the reality that peanuts encompass proteins that could purpose inflammatory reactions in several people, even inside the absence of a real allergy, is a major concern. Growing older persons are already at a better threat for joint soreness, cardiovascular stress, and cognitive loss. This low-grade inflammation can make all three worse. Most Americans already devour too much omega-6 fatty acids compared to the anti-inflammatory omega-3s, and the excessive omega-6 awareness of peanuts provides to this problem. Many medical doctors overlook to warn their aged sufferers approximately the probably fatal interplay between peanuts and blood thinners, like warfarin, due to the vitamin K in peanuts. The addition of hydrogenated oils, more sodium, and sugars in commercial peanut butters makes those issues even worse for aging cardiovascular structures. The 63% of American seniors who suffer from hypertension already have sufficient to fear. Approximately natural peanut butter, even without extra salt, can growth blood stress. Peanuts move rancid and produce volatile unfastened radicals if not stored nicely, which is any other issue. The common practice of dry roasting peanuts for industrial use also produces acrylamide, a chemical with capacity cognitive degrading effects that is especially worrisome for those who are already involved. Approximately reminiscence loss. Even in case you've been eating peanuts frequently with none major side outcomes, switching to one in all are cautioned. Nuts even for 3 days a week can help you get the vitamins you need, while lowering your publicity to those harmful substances. Third, cashews. The sugar boom that is not right now apparent, because of their very excessive carbohydrate content material and glycemic effect, cashews pose a special chance to elders. There are much less fiber protective chemical compounds and lots more carbs, approximately 9 g per ounce, in cashews, than in real tree nuts. Around 25% of persons over 65 have diabetes, and every other 48% have pre-diabetes. This causes a blood sugar reaction, which may be dangerous for them. This is mainly worrisome because cashews have a high-quality health recognition. So many elderly human beings eat them in excess without thinking about how they might have an effect on their blood sugar ranges. The smooth and curved shape of cashews gives them a choking danger that should not be omitted, particularly for people with swallowing issues. They may be additionally one of the most aspirated nuts among seniors. Nutritionally, cashews aren't remarkable because they have a number of oxalates, which can be chemical compounds that can bind to calcium within the intestine and decrease calcium absorption, a prime difficulty for elderly folks that are already vulnerable to osteoporosis. For folks that are already at multiplied chance of growing kidney stones, the danger will increase dramatically after the age of 60, because of those hue oxalates. There's a similarly unseen problem with the cashew processing. Cashews lose plenty of their nutritional all through the prolonged processing required to extract urushiol, a poisonous chemical also found in poison ivy. Many store-sold variations are oil-roasted and excessively salted, which provides harmful fats and sodium that may make blood strain and coronary heart stress worse. Cashews comprise enzyme inhibitors that may avoid protein digestion. This is especially elaborate for seniors who frequently have trouble digesting food and soaking up protein as it's far. Many people don't know this ability contributor to weight gain at some stage in the existence level. Whilst keeping a healthful weight becomes increasingly tough is the creamy texture of cashews, which makes them easy to overconsume. Substitute walnuts or almonds for cashews on a normal foundation for a more healthy snack that poses fewer threats to getting old. Our bodies at the same time is offering advanced dietary characteristics. Second, macadamia nuts, a massive fitness risk to the aged. No matter their high-quality taste, macadamia nuts are the maximum calorically dense nut available, with about 200 energy in keeping with ounce. The reality that metabolic fees necessarily fall with age provides in addition stress to the already tough task of weight control for the aged. The gallbladder's already diminished efficiency is exacerbated via their incredibly excessive fats content material, approximately 22 g in step with ounce. Macadamias can prompt painful episodes that would in any other case cross left out by means of the 15% of seniors with asymptomatic gallstones. Further to the energy they create, macadamias are the various nuts with the best saturated fats contents, about 3 g consistent with ounce, that can boost LDL cholesterol levels, something that many elderly people already fear about because of their density and hardness. They pose extreme risk to the oral fitness of seniors who've crowns, bridges, or vulnerable tooth. That is especially intricate for the ones over the age of 65, when tooth weakens due to put-on and dwindled calcium absorption. Practically speaking, macadamias are a number of the most costly nuts that can purpose seniors who are looking their spending to choose inexpensive types, which are much more likely to be rancid or kept incorrectly, exposing them to extra dangerous oxidized lipids. The dietary composition of commercially to be had macadamias is already poor, and they add extra sodium and broken lipids by means of being oil roasted and excessively salted. They've a wealthy buttery flavor that would result in overeating, specifically for older folks who may additionally have less delicate tastes and like bolder flavors. It's worrisome that many elderly people eat macadamias questioning they may be assisting their hearts. However, studies displaying the benefits of nuts for heart health has generally disregarded or downplayed the role of excessive fat nuts like macadamias. Pistachios have a substantially higher nutritional profile that is particularly desirable to growing older our bodies. So if you've been enjoying macadamias frequently, you would possibly want to take into account switching to them. First, pine nuts, a recognized medicinal drug disruptor. Pine nuts are the various maximum difficult nuts for the aged, for a number of motives, which can be mainly acute for this demographic. The fact that they include chemical compounds that engage with greater than 60% of the prescriptions given to seniors could be very concerning because it approached that the effectiveness of these tablets may be faded or that harmful aspect outcomes may be delivered. Many prescribed drugs are known to have interaction with each different. However, that is especially authentic with statins, a few antidepressants, and blood stress medicinal drugs which might be given to persons over the age of 65. Maximum doctors and pharmacists in no way tell their sufferers approximately the threat of meals and drug interactions. That is a chief red flag. Pine nut illness is the maximum worrisome since it reasons pine nuts to impart a sour steel taste that can closing for weeks after eating them. Despite the fact that this could appear insignificant, it could have a disastrous impact on older adults, due to the correlation between flavor changes and decreased hunger and nutritional reputation. According to Investigate, a sizable discount in body weight takes place in as many as 42% of folks that are impacted. Naturally, the syndrome is extra common inside the elderly, which can be attributable to alterations in taste receptors and detoxing pathways that occur with growing old. Pine nuts encompass a whole lot of polyunsaturated fats that can quick oxidize and make inflammatory chemicals. This will be a difficulty for aged folks who are already handling inflammatory sickness like arthritis. Aspiration can occur due to the fact to their small length and slick texture This is specifically worrisome for older persons who have hassle swallowing or who take medications that make their mouth dry. That's a hassle for extra than 70% of seniors who take several prescriptions. While the body's potential to absorb proteins evidently decreases with age, pine nuts enzyme inhibitors can obstruct protein digestion at some point of this time. Pine nuts are a calorie-dense object that can contribute to weight control problems regular after 65 due to their high oil content and mixture with pine nuts. Even in pesto, that is their most common culinary software. Concerningly, new studies is pointing to chemical compounds in some pine nut types as a potential accelerator of age-related macular degeneration, the primary cause of imaginative and prescient loss in the aged after the age of 65. Final thoughts. You must steer clean of those 4 nuts. Someone's health, vitality and brain function in their twilight years can be profoundly laid low with their dietary choices regarding which nuts to eat and which to keep away from. Final but not least, preserve in thoughts that continuous utility of teenage modifications produces enormous results in the end. It's time for you to speak up. Is there any proof that nutritional modifications, which includes the addition or removal of unique nuts, have an effect for your fitness? Inform me which nut had the most impact on your lifestyles. Put up your mind and tails inside the remark phase. We price your enter.